You're standing in the kitchen, staring into the fridge, and for the life of you, you can't remember what you were looking for. Is that just getting older, or is it the first silent footfall of neurodegeneration? In 2026, our understanding of the cognitive threshold has shifted. We no longer view memory loss as an inevitable part of growing older, but as a biological metric we can measure and, in many cases, influence. Today, we dive into the latest clinical criteria for cognitive health. We aren't just looking at forgetfulness. We are exploring the specific scientific markers, from white matter integrity to the health of your brain's CEO, that distinguish a resilient, aging mind from the early stages of dementia. Sign 1. The search glitch versus the record failure. In a healthy aging brain, the problem isn't that the memory is gone. It's that the search engine is slow. This is retrieval delay. Scientifically, your white matter, the insulated wiring that connects different brain regions, starts to fray like an old charging cable. Because the signals move slower, you might forget a neighbor's name while looking right at them. However, because your hippocampus, the librarian, successfully filed that memory away years ago, your brain eventually finds the path. 3 hours later, while you're washing dishes, the name suddenly pops into your head. That pop is the ultimate sign of a healthy, albeit aging, brain. However, in early dementia, the librarian has gone on strike. This is encoding failure. Due to the buildup of beta-amyloid plaques, which act like neural gum between your synapses, the electrical signal of a new experience never actually takes root. If you had a conversation this morning and by this afternoon you have no shadow of a memory that it even happened, it's because the recording was never made. Clues won't help you because there is no file to find. You aren't forgetting, you are failing to create history. What is the solution? Triggering BDNF. To fix a recording problem, you need to repair the hardware. The gold standard in 2026 is physical neurogenesis via BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as miracle grow for your brain cells. When you engage in Zone 2 exercise, like a brisk walk where you're breathing heavily but can still hold a conversation, your muscles release a protein called cathepsin B, which travels to the brain and tells the hippocampus to start growing new neurons. This physically thickens the memory center, making your recording equipment more resilient against plaque buildup. Sign 2. The processing lag versus the sequence collapse. Your prefrontal cortex, PFC, is the CEO of your brain, responsible for executive function. In normal aging, the CEO just gets a bit tired. This is a decline in fluid intelligence. You might find that multitasking, like cooking 3 different side dishes while holding a conversation, feels overwhelming. You might need to turn the radio down to find a specific address while driving. This happens because your dopamine receptors are naturally thinning, which slows down your mental clock. You can still do the math. It just takes more cognitive fuel than it used to. But in early dementia, the CEO has essentially walked out of the building. This manifests as a sequential collapse. You lose the map of how to do things you've done for decades. It's the terrifying moment you're standing at the stove and you realize you don't know the logical order of making coffee. Do you put the water in first? The beans? How does the machine turn on? This isn't a lack of focus. It's a breakdown of working memory. Your brain can no longer hold step A in mind while trying to perform step B. The 2026 solution: sensory load management. One of the most profound breakthroughs of 2026 is the link between hearing loss and CEO burnout. When you have even mild, untreated hearing loss, your prefrontal cortex has to borrow energy from your logic and memory centers just to decode what people are saying. This causes massive cognitive fatigue. By using modern, AI-driven hearing aids, you stop the power theft. This preserves your cognitive reserve, leaving your CEO with more energy to handle complex logic and daily sequences, effectively delaying the symptoms of decline. Sign 3. The tip of the tongue versus the lost meaning. We all know the frustration of anomic aphasia. That moment a word is right there, but you can't grab it. In normal aging, this is a glitch in the phonological loop. You know what the object is, you can describe its color and its use, but the sound of the word is temporarily blocked. Usually within minutes, your brain finds a side road and the word returns. This is a transmission error, not a data error. However, in early dementia, the data itself is being erased. This is the decay of semantic memory in the temporal lobe. You don't just forget the word for pen. You might look at a pen and genuinely forget what it is for. You may start using empty language, substituting specific words with that thing or the stuff. A 2026 clinical marker is fluency attrition. If you can't name more than 10 animals in 60 seconds, it suggests the neural networks that store the meaning of the world are being physically dismantled by tau tangles. The 2026 solution, the high flavonoid sweep. The 2026 approach to protecting your internal dictionary is through neuronutrition. Specifically, anthocyanins, the dark pigments in blueberries and blackberries, are now known to cross the blood-brain barrier and act as biological scavengers. They reduce neuroinflammation, which is the fire that allows tau tangles to spread. Consuming 100 mg of these flavonoids daily, about a cup of berries, has been shown to keep the temporal lobe cool, preventing the inflammation that leads to word meaning loss and preserving your ability to communicate clearly. Sign 4. The depth glitch versus the GPS failure. As we age, our parietal lobe, the part of the brain that handles 3D space, slows down. This often presents as a physical lag. You might misjudge a curb while parking or feel slightly dizzy when moving from a bright patio into a dark living room. This is usually a combination of aging eyes and a slight delay in how fast the brain can process, where your body is in space. It feels like a clumsy moment, but you still know exactly where you are and how to get home. But this is different in early dementia. The brain's internal GPS is being physically deleted. This is visual spatial disorientation. A 2026 study on navigational atrophy found that one of the first signs of Alzheimer's is losing the mental map of familiar places. This is the lost in the grocery store phenomenon. You might be in a place you've visited for 20 years and suddenly, you have no idea which direction the exit is. Your brain can no longer interpret landmarks or judge the scale of the room. The world begins to look like a flat, confusing 2D image rather than a 3D space you can navigate. The 2026 solution, the glymphatic flush. Your internal GPS is incredibly sensitive to metabolic trash. In 2026, we focus on the glymphatic system, the brain's dishwasher. While you are in deep slow-wave sleep, your brain cells literally shrink, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to wash away the toxic sludge that builds up in the parietal lobe. If you aren't getting 7-8 hours of sleep, that sludge stays in the GPS sensors. By optimizing sleep, keeping your room cool and your phone away, you ensure your brain gets its nightly wash, keeping your spatial mapping sensors sharp and clear. Sign 5. The grumpy filter versus the social decay. It's common to become a bit more irritable or set in your ways as you age. This is often just a coping mechanism. Because an aging brain tires more easily, you might get annoyed if your routine is broken because you don't have the extra energy to pivot. You are still you, just a version of you with a shorter fuse for chaos. However, early dementia often attacks the amygdala emotions and the frontal lobe social filters. This leads to social cognition decay. This is a profound change in the soul of the person. You might see a normally modest person become inappropriate, or a lifelong optimist become uncharacteristically suspicious or flat. The most dangerous sign is apathy, a total turning off of interest in life. If someone stops caring about their grandkids or their favorite hobby, it's not a choice. It's a sign that the brain's reward center is physically breaking down. The The 2026 solution, the social metabolic connection. The 2026 defense for personality is a two-pronged attack. First, active socializing. Engaging in high cognitive social tasks like bridge, book clubs, or team sports. This forces the frontal lobe to stay online. Second, managing insulin sensitivity. Research now refers to dementia as type 3 diabetes. When your blood sugar is chronically high, your brain becomes insulin resistant, which starves the amygdala of energy, leading to mood swings and apathy. A low glycemic diet isn't just for your waistline. It's the primary way to keep your brain's emotional centers fueled and stable. Next step. Knowledge is the first step toward a resilient mind. If you are experiencing these signs, remember, early detection opens the door to interventions that can add years of clarity to your life. For more deep dives into the science of longevity, click the like button and subscribe to The Ageless Mind. Together, we will stay sharp and stay curious. I'll see you in the next video, where we discuss the 3 foods that are fuel for your brain.